YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek Goodness, my little channel on the interweb for all things geeky and cool. We have another Funko review we're taking a look at today, guys. It's actually a pop ride review. Now, I don't do many pop rides. I have a few of them in my collection. I have Drogon with Daenerys, and I have Wonder Woman with her invisible jet. Those are the only two pop rides I currently own. I picked up this guy, and this guy is from Duck Dodgers. This is Marvin the Martian, and he has his rocket that he rides. Now, this was a Funko Shop exclusive item, limited to 3,000 pieces, limit one per customer, with an MSRP pricing of $40 USD. It's a very high-priced pop ride. Probably the most high-priced ride they currently make or have made. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a breakdown segment. We're going to take it out of the packaging. We're going to look at the packaging. We're going to look at the ride. We're going to look at the figure, and then come back at the end of the video with the question to you, the audience. Should you actually buy this pop ride? Take care, guys. We're going to go into breakdown. Okay guys, we're in our breakdown segment looking at the pop ride Marvin the Martian from the Duck Dodgers line from the Funko.com website, funkoshop.com, with a limited count of 3,000 pieces. Original MSRP pricing, of course, was $40. So first thing we always do is look at the packaging. I really like the packaging. Very, very squat, very kind of contained. It has a small footprint, which I do like a lot. Over here, of course, we have Marvin riding the rocket, which looks really, really nice. Over here, we have a sticker that says, of course, Funko.com website, funkoshop.com. Limited 3,000 pieces. On this side we have, of course, Marvin riding the rocket. On the other side, like a normal pop, you would normally see the writing on the side which says Marvin the Martian, and you have number 25, which I think it says on him and his rocket, yes, with rocket over here on the side. And on the top we have the same artwork there as well. On the back we have Marvin riding the rocket, same shots you've been seeing all around, and all the figures that were in the current wave. So we'll put this aside and go to Marvin. Now first let's actually look at the ride itself. Now the rocket, when you get it, comes in two pieces. It comes in the rocket itself and the stand. This is a clear acrylic stand that you can see. Very, very nice stand. Now you can actually display the rocket in one of two configurations. You can put it like this. If you plug it in, you see an indentation at the bottom. You plug it in, it fits rather snug, and it would look something like this. Very, very straight and very, very perpendicular to the ground. If you switch the stand and put it into this configuration to basically turn it 360 degrees, it has more of a lifting effect, as you can see. So you can display it in one of these two poses, whichever way you want to put it in, either a straight launch or it lean back. So I like that effect. We'll take the stand off it and actually look at the rocket itself. A lot of detail went into this rocket. You have a red nose cone in the front here. You see these gray rivets that are positioned all around the pop. It looks like it was put together, riveted together, which I like that effect. You see the red wings on both sides. See it from there as well. The back, you have the red fins here, and the kind of this orange-red effect coming off, which would show the fire like it's flying around. I do like that effect. Now, if we look in the inside of it, you'll see kind of two black little holes. That is for where Marvin is seated at, but I'll talk about that in a second. The biggest concern I have about this rocket, to be quite honest, is its size. It is rather small. I mean, it is this big. You're looking at maybe 5 to 6 inches in size. That's my main concern. I would have wished this rocket to be about here. I want it to be a much bigger rocket. Having it this size, to me, is rather disappointing. I expected a lot more out of Funko to make this rocket. This should have been a lot bigger. Now, let's actually put the rocket aside and actually grab Marvin. Now, Marvin is situated in a very, very odd pose. He's pointing, as you can see here. Kind of turn him to the side so you can see he's pointing, and he has the little piece of dynamite in his hand here. That was the prop he used in the Looney Tunes cartoon to try to blow up the Earth. So it was a running gag he had, a plot point he used in the actual cartoon. Now, this is much more screen accurate, and I'll bring in the original one that came in from the actual release, from the actual Duck Dodgers release. As you can see, this is a much greener helmet than this kind of off-green color, as you can see. It is basically almost the same pose, just in kind of a different stance. I'll kind of turn to the side, but if you do notice the size of the helmet, you can see it here. The visor here, this visor right here, is much larger, which he doesn't even really have a visor in this one here, on this one. If you keep turning it around, you'll see the helmet is much bigger. He has a much bigger head in the pop ride one than he has in the traditional release. And I mean, I do like that effect. The big negative that I see on this particular pop is the stance. The biggest issue is that you cannot get full range of motion out of his head because he keeps clipping into this part of his helmet over here, these kind of pieces that kind of wing out to the sides. As you see, as I turn it, it keeps falling into his hand. You can go the other way, but you will get limitation again, sort of in that hand. It will rub up against it, which would lead me to believe, you know, a lot of wear and tear could happen to rub paint off the vinyl figure here, just to be aware of that, guys. The biggest issue is that pointed finger. So I don't like how it locks the helmet into a certain amount of mobility and a lot of limited range of movement. I don't like that. I don't like how they did that. Now, as I talked about, he does have holes in the feet, as you can see here, and he's meant to plug into the actual rocket, like so. Now, the only issue I have with that is that he's the only one who can really fit this rocket. Yes, it's him in his rocket. I get it. I understand that. But there's no other pops that really would fit this particular stance. The way the feet are positioned in this weird kind of off-kilter, you know, pose. I kind of put my hand there. There we go. This off-kilter pose like this. No other pop will fit that way unless you had someone that had that type of stance and had a double peg in their feet like this. Single peg feet figures will, you can get it in, but it's going to be shifted slightly to either side because you can't get it set correctly. So that's kind of a negative. To me, it's a little ding. So we have to ask that big question to you guys: should you buy this figure? I'm going to mention more in my final thoughts, but I think it's a little disappointing. I wish this figure would have been bigger. I wanted the rocket to be about here. I think a great idea would have been if the rocket was larger. They could have had some type of gimmick, some type of action feature, literally, where a piece could have swiveled out like a gimmicked half moon piece here in plastic that would swivel outwards, and you could have put K9 inside that piece like a sidecar. I think that would have been a really, really cool idea. It's unfortunate that the rocket is this size. I wish it would have been bigger. Don't get me wrong, guys. I do love this. I do think a $40 price point is a bit much so. And with that being said, we'll wrap up this portion of the video and go into final thoughts. Okay, guys, final thoughts on the Pop Ride Duck Dodgers line with Marvin the Martian and his rocket. I really like this ride. I really, really like this ride. I'm a big Looney Tunes fan. I've always been it since I was a kid, and when I saw this on Funko store, I had to nab it. The price is a bit steep. I do have to admit that right now from the get-go. I think that's a negative. I'll be completely honest. $40 out of the box, out of the gate, is a high-priced premier item. Now, checking a Pop price, guys, I mentioned in the breakdown, it does contain a higher value now, meaning it actually has raised in cost to about $100 US price right now at the current recording of this video. Now, I do see it keep gaining momentum, keep going up in price. I don't know the reason why per se. It is limited to 3,000 pieces like I did state, but I don't know why it keeps going up in price so rapidly. So, I mean, from a collectability standpoint, I think it's well worth that investment if you're looking to invest it long term. I do like the way this looks. I do like the rocket. I wish the rocket was a bit bigger. I mean, when I had the Wonder Woman jet I was looking at before, it had about twice the size of this box. I expected this to be a bigger rocket, in my personal opinion. I think that's another negative point. I love the paint. I love the way it looks. I love how Marvin looks here. Now, the only weird thing about Marvin is, as we talked about again in the breakdown, he has those two pegged feet, and the way he stands, his stance and his sculpt, he's the only one who can really fit inside this ride. I tried other figures that had double peg hold feet. They don't really fit this way. The way this stance is built, it's only built for him, unfortunately. I mean, I even tried it with the Marvin here, hoping he had, holes in his feet, and he doesn't, unfortunately. I do like the more screen accurate color scheme that he has here. I do like that a lot. Again, I do wish the rocket was a little bit bigger. Now, the big question we have to ask at the end of this video, of course, all of my videos when I do a review like this, is it worth the money? Should you shell out the $40, at least the cost of it originally, now $100? It all depends if you're a Looney Tunes fan and you like Marvin. I don't think you should buy it if you don't like those two elements. Because remember, this is a high premier item. You're looking at least $100 US price for it, unless you can get some type of trade involved. I mean, personally, it's a buy for me, but it's probably going to be a pass for you guys because of the high price point, and the Pop Ride is very small in size. So I hope you like this review. As always, you'll see a big subscribe button at the bottom of my videos now that you can click on my face at the end of the video, and of course you'll see windows on the side so you can click on more of my videos. Take care, guys, and bye-bye.